And with no cow, how shall I plow if I can't plow? How will I grow rice now if rice won't grow? How can I feed all of 7 children with only cattle bones? This last crop left nothing to ignore. With these bones, they're my only supplies. My feet on the fire, my need is quite dire. Is an answer in front of my eyes. I dreamed I was a burnout student. Once upon a time, thought you were smart. I dreamed, or rather self-deluded, that the best way I could spend my time is art. Then I awoke and sadly spoke. This is not me, you piece of shit. Real life is waiting. Think I should go ahead and ride the show. But I instead just keep on procrastinating. Type something out. But what about? Forget your dad. Despite us now. And do it quick. Then losing patience. We've had all year. Don't rush. Let's give 'em something here. Before I write a thing, I needed inspiration, representation, colonization, gentrification, utilization. Yes, something Asian. Well, if this works out, yes, I'll surprise. My feet on the fire, my need is quite dire, and answers in front of my eyes. Rough from the bones of the cow, write what you know. Of rice, so it's soft. Write what you know. The people would write about. Write about. Welcome to the show about. Fuck, I lost. Again, really?
You're up, so sorry.
Want to get food?
That was it. This soup I call pho. p.m. Friday, September 9th, 2016. Nam and Kevin sit down in Pho, a Vietnamese restaurant in Toronto's Chinatown. Kevin is entering his second year of the U of T Faculty of Music. He is known by many due to his wide range of hobbies, skills, and positions, including theater tech god, perfect pitch piano boy, hipster, geek, weeaboo, and dude who wears nice clothes, as well as the guy who's filming tonight. Kevin recently returned from a month-long summer vacation in which he went to Europe, entirely self-funded. So in short, Kevin puts up an excellent front of having his shit together. Contrast Nam sitting across from him, who does not.
Color palette makes no sense.
Fuck you. Nam recently returned. Ah, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting all my lines that I wrote. Nam is also a second-year U of T student studying drama and statistics for some reason, working toward a career in God knows what, with no definitive future to work towards. Nam's willingness to do anything except study occasionally makes him right place. However, he hasn't written anything in the last year, and he goes to sleep every night with the all-consuming fear that he peaked in high school.
Did you come up with anything yet?
Over the last year, Kevin repeatedly harassed Nam to write something new so as to contribute to humanity's body of art, and also to make Nam be productive and maybe go outside. Hey, I said I'd have an idea for you when you came back from Europe. Here you are. Well, why do you think I specifically asked you to come eat pho?
Because it's delicious.
Yes! No, I came up with something.
So,
Pho!
pho.
Yeah, a show about pho.
A show about pho. Like a faux show.
Faux show. Know the multiple meanings of faux show? Yeah, a faux show. Looking at how the history impacted food, how the food impacted history. A bunch of non-chronological scenes, some sung depicting things like the invention of pho, or regional variations upon pho, or the first appearance of pho restaurants in the West.
Okay.
And also just things that happened in and around pho restaurants, like Vietnam War or this conversation. But acting.
No, I don't act.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just, how about we just get someone to play you?
I'm not sure if I want that either. They might misrepresent me in some way, or... What are you doing?
Fixing your lines. Kevin stops being a little bitch.
Gee whiz now that I think about it, it would be a great idea to replace me with an actual actor such as the talented Justin Park.
Wow.
Why would I say something like that?
Kevin thinks the script is a great idea and continues sucking up to me.
I, Kevin, you, and just happen to be a part of this production. Vision as a playwright, I see no reason why I need to play myself on stage, considering that my character is essentially irrelevant. Stop that! I thought you said this was going to be about things that actually happen. No one's going to believe this.
They're not supposed to. I'm introducing the audience to the concept of meta-theatricality. Transition into the rest of the show's film.
This is a ridiculously fantastic idea.
I am so glad you think so, Kevin.
But of course, you'll be playing yourself, because no one else is talented enough to play you.
Don't be silly, Kevin.
Of course, now that was silly.
While I am extremely talented, it'd probably be a bit too narcissistic to star in a show that I also wrote.
And to prove that I'm not a narcissist, I'll get another actor to play me, such as the talented Kenzie Sang.
Wait, so I was singing with myself in the first song?
Yes, you're going insane.
Gee, I sure hope the audience keeps up with what just happened there, Nam. Gee, Nam, I don't know what it is, but you've suddenly become so much more attractive.
Actually, I finally went through puberty.
On an unrelated note, do you notice that that weird smell is finally gone?
Yeah, I started wearing deodorant too.
This bit is over now.
Yeah.
You're telling me about your script.
Right. Shall I start from the beginning?
Sure.
Lights up on a poor Vietnamese farmer.
Okay, why don't we just skip to the start of scene 3?
Well, if you say so. Dope beats play in the background. Teacher enters.
Now I hope you're all ready for World Culture Day tomorrow. I hope you set up your booths with your yummy, yummy food. Yes, I appreciate your to take a time out or something like that.
You know, there's a shark in the water, gotta get out of the pool. The end daughter, gotta bring the hottest dad to the school. I tell you, other bitches, boots have been prepared for a beating. It ain't World Culture Day until somebody is bleeding. Let's prepare for beating. It don't bear no repeating. I'm speeding down the list of reasons why my feast is bleeding. Got some chicken, pork, and you know that I'm beating. And spring rolls ready with a bit of reheated. Pickled veggies on the side, milky coffee on the ice. Try some rice, fried or white at no additional price. Only that, got a burner stove, cans of gas. You can serve a bowl of pho and have to pick it your ass. Oh, so you might as well not show. Ha! Leave your dumb ass pierogies at home. Don't know how the fuck I word not show. Like you did it, now you're finished. Cause these dishes I've been on my own. With my mom's help, she did the cooking. I rolled the spring rolls. Bitch! Vietnam, people don't stop your bitching. We're dishing out the dishes and you're right for the picking. We are ready, steady, go to go international. And we're never going slow. We're Vietnam pimpin'.
So tell me how you got detention.
Miss Jones says I destroyed the classroom with enthusiasm and made gratuitous use of the B word. But it's okay. She let me keep my booth for World Cultures Day. And tomorrow, we'll see who's giving who detention.
That's not how that works.
Did you start the chai-al?
Yes, I finished them this morning.
Finished? But that means they'll be in the fridge all night. They won't be fresh tomorrow.
Huh?
Whatever, it's fine. What about the pickled vegetables?
You want those too? Honey, that's gonna take a whole day, at least.
Why didn't you start earlier?
I have work, Jenny.
At least tell me I'll have the pho.
Of course, I just came from the supermarket.
Instant pho broth
Vietnamese.
The $20 gift card to McDonald's. Jenny, I'll take you to McDonald's myself if that's what you really want.
That's not it. The other kids make fun of me at lunchtime when they see me with leftover noodles, and they all have Lunchables. I just want to show them that our food is the best.
Because this is a family learning moment, Jenny.
We're in the middle of the road.
Jenny, our food.
Beep!
Our food
Beep,
is hot
beep,
dog.
motherfucker!
I didn't say they were white.
But they are.
Okay, they are.
Listen, when I was younger than you are now and our family came to Canada, the kids then didn't like what I brought for lunch either. But your grandpa told me this story, and I think you should hear it too, okay? Once upon a time, there was a king of Vietnam who was growing quite old. He knew he needed a successor, but he didn't know which of his 21 sons to choose. Vietnamese men, they get around. One of the youngest was named Lang Lu, but he didn't live a life of luxury like his brothers. His mother died when he was very young, and all he had was a small farm. When the king decreed that the prince to succeed him would be he who presented the best food with which to honor their ancestors en tête, all of Lang Lu's wealthy brothers searched far and wide for exotic ingredients to make extravagant new dishes. Now, Lang Lu couldn't afford such ingredients from foreign markets, but he was far craftier with what he already had. These were ingredients that even the poorest farmers in the country had access to: rice, pork, mung beans. So using only what he had, he created a rice cake called Ben Chung that he presented to the king. The other princes laughed at Lang Lu's simple offering, but the king saw its meaning immediately. By using only humble ingredients, Lang Lu showed that he understood the conditions and needs of his people and paid respect to the land and ancestors from which we all came. And thus, Lang Lu became the heir to the throne of Vietnam, and all Vietnamese people eat Ben Chung every tet to this day. Now, do you understand my meaning in telling you this story?
I think so. You shouldn't have to worry about the pho broth, Mom. I need some Ben Chung for my world culture day food.
Fuck your nachos and pierogies, I don't give a shit. Damn, we got the hottest dishes straight out the Vietnam. This south, east, north, motel, yeah, everything. So hear it from a friend, Lang Lu, he's a king.
Now down in the presence of immortal king Lang Lu, pick up all the peasants with a muzzle for your brand new. Yeah, I'm long fun, but let me show you what I can do. Make a little cake or rice of tasty Al Grand. Flavor with your heritage and flavor on your tongue. When you labor over sticky rice and pork and bean a month, these ingredients accessible to every single one of our people. Dip it in fish sauce.
What more, bitch?
Vietnamese riches from the size of the fishes. Well, your shit is fucking ridiculous. Y'all already know we drop the enemies like we drop the foe, huh? You get it one more time, I'll say it's up. Vietnam pimpin', yo, stop, yo, bitchin'. We're dishing out the dishes and you're right for the pig and we are ready, set it go. To go international and we're never going slow. One more time, yeah, we're
Vietnam pimpin', yo, stop, yo, bitchin'. We're dishing down the dishes and you're right for the pick and we already steady go.
to go international and we're never going slow. We're Vietnam pimpin'.
And now, a poem. Pho.
The
Vietnamese rice noodle soup!
Such secrets! You can see
And each stitch shall be revealed. First tasted in the east. Came to tantalize the world!
The bathroom's right over there. You can just go through that.
Thanks, but I went before, so.
Okay. Were you looking for Ned's Cafe?
No, this is the Goldring Music Room, right?
Yes, but you can't use it. We're holding auditions here.
Yes, I am here for that.
You're here for auditions for a Perfect Bowl of Pho?
Yep.
Great. And which role are you going to be reading for?
I'll be reading for the role of a name.
Oh, okay. I think we both have misunderstood here. This is a show about pho. You know, the Vietnamese food?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vietnamese food. Food from Vietnam. The Southeast Asian country.
Gotcha.
Where Asian people live. Asians, you understand me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that's racist.
Oh, it is. So you understand why we need a certain kind of person for this sort of show.
Yes, that's what I've heard, and I do go to Victoria College.
You have a mixed college student quota, you know.
Okay, that joke does not land outside of U of T. I'm sorry. We're looking for East and Southeast Asian actors, and you're white.
Oh!
His resume is actually pretty impressive.
Look, white people star in every other show.
Not Hamilton.
Give him a chance.
No.
This is Hamilton all over again.
It's not like Hamilton. At least Alexander Hamilton was actually white. Do you expect me to whitewash myself?
Take one for the team.
Bitch! You take one for the team. Guess what, Leo? You're in the show.
I am?
Yeah. You'll be playing Kevin Yu, 18's white.
All right, wait a minute.
This is all really nice and everything, but Kevin Yu isn't a very white name.
Okay. Kevin Simpson, 18, white, and comes from Missouri.
Well, darn! But damn, I reckon you could have saved yourself a lot of time if you just, wrote roles for white people.
And broaden my horizons? Good one, Kevin.
Oh, come on now. White people like me need all the help we can get. Showbiz just ain't kind to faces like ours.
Affirmative action at work. Look, white Kevin, I promise I will write a novel that showcases white people as you truly are. I promise that joke will pay off in 6 scenes.
Amazing! My big break!
Stop it! Shut up! Can I please get Hong Kong Kevin back?
It's a show about the history of pho. Things that actually happened.
Right, back to that. 12:30 p.m. March 13th, 2013. Pho Dao Bo, just outside Streetsville, Mississauga. My first date with a girl. Not that I went on dates with non-girls before that, or after that. Okay, the point is I'm straight and very secure about it, which is why I felt the need to mention it in this musical that I wrote. It was pretty uneventful. Eat pho for lunch, walk through Streetsville in the wintertime, real simple. But to 15-year-old me, this was of the utmost importance. Hi. Holy shit, hi! There she was. 15-year-old me had zero chill. I am much taller than her in real life, by the way. Not when we were 15. So she says. We're still friends, so we were able to compare our memories of this date with each other. For example, my first draft of the scene had me arrive later than her.
Which is wrong. I arrived later than him.
So she says, because she came from farther away.
They have literally lived 2 minutes from the restaurant.
I said, sorry, I'm late. Had to bike. And she said, I said, it's okay, I've only been waiting for like an hour. He says, I don't remember saying that. Was I being sarcastic? She said she thought, oh my god, I'm a terrible person.
I said I thought he thought.
How could she stand me up like that? But probably he thought. And to that I say hashtag not all men. Whatever, I didn't write it, I'm an actor, okay? She said,
Sorry about that.
it's okay, hungry?
Yeah.
my Nan small. How about you? I didn't know at the time that she was hungrier than she let on, and it turns out she had some misgivings about her order.
I found myself now at a crossroads that will determine how our date goes. I found myself now at an impasse because he ordered and I choose last. I have a faux routine that I perfected with my family. I don't know if I can do the same in front of Nam. He might judge me if I show the hungry beast that's deep inside me. Do I sacrifice my appetite just for propriety? Oh shit, I don't know what to do if I should take a bet. Oh shit, he's looking at me and I haven't ordered yet. I'm showing signs of hunger and I know he must be reading them. Why do you order small? I'm used to eating medium. Medium pho. I wanted medium pho. But this bastard must be on a diet or something. Can't explain why he eats basically nothing. Medium pho. God, I want medium pho. But the circumstance calls for an order of small, even if I think it's nothing at all.
I was always planning to work what I remembered of this date into the show, but when I heard her version of the story, it was so much better than mine that I scrapped the other song I was working on and started on this one instead. The old one was a faux slow jam, kind of like, hey baby, I normally wouldn't do this on the first date, but let's get some hot, steamy pho. We can pho all night long. You can taste this noodle, hot, wet, spicy, meat, raw, wet. It's good for you, it's good for me. You know, that sort of thing. Note the multiple meanings of good for me.
You never eat more than your date. That's just the way the game is played. For a girl in a world in which you can't look fat. Do I wait to see the weight he puts on weighing me? Will my medium give him insecurity about his size? Would I risk this date for that?
At least I found her for one dick joke.
Or do I do the faux routine that I've perfected with my family? Show the person that I am while eating pho with Nam. He might respect my choices, cause he's a special type of boy. He's affectionate and charming and so cute.
I can't believe you wrote this, you goddamn narcissist.
Hey, this all happened.
No, it didn't.
It's based on true events. Loosely. Look, I can't prove that she wasn't thinking that. And if she was, who can blame her?
Or he could be vain, and I should refrain. Eating more than a man's not endearing, so I've made up a plan, it's adhering to conventional wisdom. It's an old-fashioned rhythm, with the beat set by women proceeding, although maybe the men did the leading. So we paint and we shave off our corners, we nod and we smile and we shrink our roll orders, we stretch and we squeeze and sit down, even though we'll be sad and we start biking home in the snow. Show up for the boys and show up for each other. Notice how boys who do this for their brothers. Why am I the one who has to put on a show? Cause this motherfucker doesn't need a medium Well, now I'm pissed. And still, no order at all. Hey, could you pass me the list? I'll have one of these, small. Medium pho. I'll take a small.
Midnight, January 31st, 1968. Pho Bin, tiny 7-table restaurant in Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam. I work here. In the daytime, I feed American soldiers. Their embassy is 20 minutes away. They eat here often. I take their orders. It's a living. At night, I feed other soldiers. My father-in-law came here from the north and set up shop 10 years ago when the French left and Ho Chi Minh took power in Hanoi. Millions fled from the communists, mostly Catholics and business owners, people with something to lose. Pho wasn't big here until they brought their recipes south. Pho's changed here. Basil, bean sprouts, lime, poison. My father-in-law says you'd never find these in a northern restaurant. Pho is meant to be delicate and pure. Garnishes are decadent. Southerners like their decadence. You'd expect that from capitalists. So, we leave a plate of herbs on every table. Of course, an American has no idea what to do with the bean sprouts, so they don't touch them. And the soldiers I feed at night, the ones we hide upstairs, they don't touch them either. Time spent tearing basil is time you could be loading weapons or planting targets, freeing the nation. I do my part by ladling out their soup, keeping them from the eyes of the Southern government. They will do their part when in 1 hour they fire the first shots of the Tet Offensive. From where I am in 1968, I don't know yet that we lose this battle, but I'm prepared for it, for death. I'm prepared to die when in 3 days they discover the Viet Cong unit based above my restaurant. I am prepared to die when they arrest us, line us up, and execute 2 of my co-workers on the spot. I will wish that I had died with my co-workers when the South Vietnamese army spares me just to torture me in a dark cage for years. But I won't die. I live long enough for our failed offensive to shake America's faith in its war. I live to see Nixon negotiate an exit. I live and I see daylight again when we win and topple the Saigon regime and rename it Ho Chi Minh City. I live and return to my restaurant. I lived through the U.S. embargo, through our darkest, most impoverished years. I lived to see Ho Chi Minh's successors devise their great scheme in fixing our country. Capitalist dictatorship. It works somehow. And I live long enough to see my sworn enemies, the Americans, return to this country as tourists. They hear my pho shop has secrets, and they'll pay to hear them along with their overpriced soup. And so the cook became the curator at the restaurant where we sell history. Pho Bin. It's a funny name. You can translate it as peace noodles.
13th, 2016. King's Noodle Restaurant, Chinatown, Toronto. King's Noodle is different from the other restaurants in the show in the sense that it's not a faux restaurant. My mom's just returned from visiting her father in Ottawa and invites me to eat a very late dinner with her and my dad before heading back to Mississauga. She excuses herself to leave to the restroom, leaving me to make small talk with my dad. Unfortunately, he's not a native English speaker, while years in Canadian public schools have left my tongue thoroughly colonized. As such, dinner conversation between us is stilted.
How much do you pay for water?
Everything's included in the rent.
Oh. Have you had a pho since you moved here?
Yes. Yeah.
You tried pho hum?
Yeah, it's right across the
What
street from me.
did you think of it? Is it good?
It's okay. I liked it.
I never eat there. Do you know why?
Yes, I know why. It was your first job.
It was
That's
my
what-
first job when I came here.
My father begins telling me a story depicting the hardships of his youth. Of course, I've already heard this story. The last time we had food together, we don't really talk much otherwise.
I was your age a very long time ago. I got in a mess with the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I committed a crime, a heinous crime, you know, called saying the government's bad in public in Vietnam. The protests we did weren't allowed. Well, in Canada, these are right. So they threw me in jail, still I'm proud that we did and we do give a fight. Life was hard, life was hard. So I came to Canada so I'd have rights and not lose them. Life was hard, life was very, very hard. Now you have these rights and you what?
I do not use them. My sisters were much better at adopting our parents' political activism than me, and they're better at Vietnamese too. They both joined Fanboy Chow, an international organization of youth dedicated to the cause of human rights and democracy in Vietnam, operating in parallel with greater organizations that my parents were a part of. Once or twice a year, we'd go as a family to Ottawa or Washington to attend a large protest at the Vietnamese embassies. I had no choice in the matter when I was young, but as I got older, the excuses came easy. I have rehearsal, Mom, I can't go. I mean, I did have rehearsal, but I also just didn't want to go to the protest, so they were always the first thing I crossed off in case of conflicts. Not because I disagree with human rights, but because my parents did it, and that made it hella lame.
I was your age, I drifted upon a boat. We embarked in the dark, hoping not to see sharks or some pirates. All we could do was hope that the boat we were on would float to the freedom awaiting for us if we only desired it. I felt myself dying of thirst, and thousands did not persevere. But I didn't die when my life was the worst. Now I laugh at those days 'cause I'm here. Life was hard. Life was hard. Just look at the bullshit I did getting out of Vietnam. Life was hard. Life was very, very hard. I did it so that my 3 children could feel like their hardships are calculus exams.
I don't know if I'll ever really understand what my parents went through. Getting on a fishing boat not meant for the open sea. Going without food or water for weeks on end as people died around you. Hoping you'd avoid pirates and wash up somewhere that wouldn't send you back home. Living in a cramped refugee camp for years, waiting for some nice democratic country to take you in. Of course that's horrible. But like you, I learned that from my safe little Canadian bubble. Even now, I can pretend that all the world's problems are far away and in the past, instead of right here and now, with me in Toronto, sitting across from my noodle soup. It's not like you can look to my dad and immediately know he's a refugee. He's a normal person too. He gets up, goes to work, comes home, eats dinner, then falls asleep in front of the TV. But still, I remember how for years he insisted that I take swimming lessons, and he'd always ask me how long I could swim without getting tired. Over and over, no matter how many times I'd answer. What a kooky guy.
Hard, 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 hard,
have nothing to do with why you don't eat at Pho, which I also already know.
Right. Back to the other story you already know. I was living in Scarborough when I was your age. Pho Hung gave me my first job, washing the dishes each day. This was back when $3 was minimum wage. At the end of the week, Pho Hung gave me a check, but the work that I did didn't pay me respect. And my check was so small that I said, "Where's my tips?" The owner says, "You don't get tips." No one gets tips. I keep the tips. And I said, "I'm not coming back here tomorrow." And long story short, that's the story of when I swore that I'd never eat Pho Hung again. Life is hard, but I didn't come across the ocean so you would not pay me. Life is hard, life is very, very hard, and now my son's studying drama
And stats, maybe.
Wow, did Nam almost show vulnerability in that last scene?
Show what now, bitch? Huh? Say it again. Huh? Let me say it again.
It's nice while it lasted.
Oh, Kevin, my favorite son.
Our next heartless Pho story comes courtesy of one of my white friends. Yes, I do have those. The last person I expected to have a Pho story. Well.
Now this is when I was attending theater school in New York City. I just got my own place, living on my own, all settled in. So a buddy of mine decided that we'd go out for sushi, and we ended up in the Asian district of NYC. But the sushi place was crazy pricey, and we were poor college kids, so we settled on this Pho place. And this is not a nice-looking place. It was 3 stories above some Asian bank and an internet cafe. The entrance to this place was a door in between 2 stores, and the only thing on the door was a piece of paper with handwriting that said, "We sell pho, $2 a bowl, very good money." So my buddy and I look at each other and we say, $2 for a bowl of pho, that's indeed a very good money. I go up some sketchy stairs and enter this place. There's 3 people on staff. An old deaf man, an 8-year-old playing StarCraft, and an old Asian woman who, to my knowledge, knew no English outside of $2 is very yum, and you eat more. They looked shocked and excited to see customers, except the 8-year-old. He didn't give a fuck. So we go sit down and try these 2 bowls of pho, and to our surprise, she was indeed a very yum. So we ordered like 3 more each, and it was this amazing deal because on top of the cheap pho, they threw in free food poisoning. Fast forward 3 hours. And I am at home on the toilet. What I can only describe as a world-class shit. I can't even describe to you how large this shit was. Up the volume of the fucking toilet, took it out into a smell, and heard every fucking minute I was taking it. So after that whole ordeal, I flush. And the toilet proceeds to clog. And I realize that I didn't buy a plunger. And I moved it. Oh shit, water begins to rise. And my panic state, what do? The only logical
the Vietnamese version of Montezuma's Revenge.
So Ho Chi Minh's revenge.
My parents might resent that, but sure. Why do you have communists in your play? I'm sorry, Dad.
July 29th, 1979. I was a Vietnamese boat person, a refugee. I was let in by Trudeau, but getting in's not the same as getting through, though. My cousin landed in Texas trying to make his way, got spat on and called Charlie on his very first day. He said, "I'll grab a gun, protect us from the KKK." They were gonna burn his shrimping boat and make him gooks pay. Up here, I turned on the radio to CBC. They're interviewing a guy who hated people like me. Refugees run the seas, but we ain't want them on our streets. Keep in mind to keep the peace, keep out the people from the east. They're running round and pouring out some roaring lies like foreign spies are getting through. They'll execute us if they view the opportunity. Don't let them in, just let them die in Fuji camp so long as I can keep these Asians out my face. Out of this place of racial unity. Now, I didn't come to make this country Vietnamese. I came in peace to claim my piece of the Canadian dream. But it seems that the dream is holding me in low esteem, the land of winter so white. No home for yellow snow. See? But fuck you if you think I'm gonna stop, can't stop. I'll do any fucking job because I'm gunning from the top. I'll be saving up the money, you're gonna get a restaurant, and you're gonna fucking love it. Not gonna pay a lot of real hard working, but I need the dollars. I don't wanna be worse than I was before I came here. So fuck adversity, I'ma persevere, and you're gonna fucking love it. Let the shit slide by if at least I give my shot. Forget about how pissed I got. Let bygones be bygones, because those who winning in the West don't miss Saigon. This bull right here, I call it pho, you call it pho. Fuck do you know? You claw me right out of this hole, and every time you eat, you'll taste my soul and all the shit I went through just to get this bowl to you. Once you view that in your food, then you're gonna fucking love it. I hope you can appreciate this bowl of pho, and I hope you can appreciate just a little the people who made it.
This is the perfect place.
I think so.
4:30 p.m., May 21st, 2017. I'm standing in front of HIP, period, the hippest restaurant in the neighborhood of Gentrificationville in the city of Philadelphia. HIP, period, brands itself as a Southeast Asian BYO, which basically means it's owned by white people who sell pho at absurd prices to other white people.
Unfortunately, HIP period got in some hot water, pun intended, after they were highlighted in a foodie magazine's viral video entitled, patronizingly enough, "Pho is the new ramen. PSA, you're eating pho wrong."
We'll be all over the social medias with this one.
Teaching the kids how to eat pho.
Kids love pho.
It's the hottest new thing.
The cutting edge.
In fact, I heard it was invented just 5 days ago.
In San Francisco?
Those damn San Franciscans, they're so creative, they invented the sushi burrito!
So they must have invented pho.
Yes. When social media picked it up, many Viets and other Asians expressed their displeasure with the content.
Why did they choose a white man as the spokesperson for pho? There's no Asian people in this video?
Why is he telling me, a Vietnamese person, I'm eating pho wrong?
Why can pho only be defined in relation to ramen?
Too many trendy and exotic dishes to remember.
Why is this guy so anal about putting sauce into your soup?
All lowercase letters and a period. Real original branding.
He's clearly just eating spaghetti.
I myself to investigate for the sake of the pho show when I was visiting some of my friends in Philly. Well, not really. I've never been to Philly. But a friend of mine did go down there once, and I'm shamelessly inserting myself into her real-life experience thanks to artistic license. Full credit, though. Thank you for the story, Kenzie's saying. I hope you don't mind me pretending to be you. So I, filling in for Kenzie, dragged Kevin, filling in for Kenzie's white American friends, to him. Our visit went a little something like this.
Oh, God.
I was the only non-white person there. But it's okay, I'm used to it. I'm in theater. I love craft beer. forget his goateed mouth that went on and on about the right way to eat pho, his perfect proportions of every garnish, his profound prejudice against the improper use of sauce. This was too good to be true. I knew what I had to do for my research.
When people come in and you put the bowl of soup in front of the man, they immediately squirt Sriracha and poison in. Like poisoning the chef, oh, don't you see how much hurts? All my work is all worthless, it turns into dirt. All the thought inside the broth, all my reasoning and the seasoning is lost beneath your sauce. God, do you know nothing? You know who I am?
Yes, unfortunately.
Hi, my name's Noah. Know a lot about pho. I'm the owner of Hip, the hippest Miracle City near you.
So much in a bowl for such a low price, a marvelous deal. Oh, can I get in a man? Blessed be the day God grant us this our holiest meal. Oh, is the new romance.
If we're talking fun, then you better talk ramen too. Cause it may be better from the thing is ramen too. Both things. One the noodle soup from Japan, and the other noodle soup is from a place called. Wait, I swear no, it's the forsaken fuzz on the rise. Now I'm gonna show you how I take it. I don't compromise. I don't sing the song to say you're eating for the wrong way. But I'll show you how to eat the right way. I swear. Slice them up, jalapeno business from the bowl. Let you spice them up, my angel. Type basil. Go ahead and munch them up. Throw in beans, sprouts, super noodles, so crunching up. Now let me reiterate a point I made already. Listening to me would be clever. Never put sriracha in your soup! You'll burn in hell forever. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want with your soup. You'll burn in hell regardless.
This is spaghetti.
First in one small Chinatown shop, but eventually in Asian supermarkets across the GTA. But now, the businessman was old. He knew he needed a successor, but he didn't know if his 3 sons were ready to inherit the family business. Furthermore than this, the 3 brothers set out beyond the safety of Chinatown against their father's wishes to the great wilderness of Queen West. Here, among the bad and the bougie, that these 3 would stake their claim to their father's Vietnamese sandwich empire.
When the people you know sit across from your foe, that's how you know they're at home. Lights down. It's nice.
This is the very important playwright.
I'm the very important playwright.
Really, an amalgamation of several real-life important playwrights.
I'm very important.
So, he's written many important plays.
Writing is hard. And important.
Today, I'm lucky enough to have him here with me to get some feedback on my work.
So, White Kevin is funny. White Hipster Satan is funny.
Or white people jokes.
So it's funny. The piece is clever. Did you get your point across?
Yes.
Which is?
The point is that white people are bad. No, okay. The point is that pho and food in general is a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing, and culture is important and tasty, which is all to say that white people are bad.
Wow. The point is, culture is tasty.
No, okay. Check this out. Hey guys, it's Nam checking in on everybody. Let me hear it if you're liking the show so far. See, that's the point.
When is breaking the fourth wall?
No, the point is I'm funny.
Wow.
But seriously, I wrote a bunch of funny songs about pho and hoped people would like them, and they did.
But there's this Tet offensive monologue.
Yeah, that's kind of out of place for a musical comedy, isn't it?
Believe me, there's potential.
We're better off without you! I always hated that scene. Anyway, you were saying.
I think there's potential here for something important.
Do I really need some big, important point?
Only if you want to be an important playwright. And I think you care about something in here other than funny songs.
Whatever.
Oh my god, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen!
Thank you. This lady came up to me after the first performance of pho in 2017.
Ooh, you should write about lasagna next!
I think you might have missed Maybe you're right.
After 1 year, the businessman set out to judge what his 3 sons had built. It was but a 10-minute walk from his own shop to theirs, and yet they were 2 worlds apart. Walking down Spadina to Queen, he noticed the sidewalks were littered with no vegetables, the signs carried no pictographs, and the clothes suddenly became much more expensive. This strange opulence was the world his foolish sons wanted to foray into? He chuckled. It was a pipe dream for a simple family like his. Yet, he remembered his own youth. He too was brave once leaving by boat to a land far more foreign to him than Queen West was to his sons. They spoke the language of the land. The businessman had an accent, even now. And so, it was with trepidation that the businessman stepped into the first location of Vietnamese.
I think I know now why I wrote these scenes.
You just figured it out?
No, I knew the whole time. But the audience doesn't.
Of course.
So, right from the first scene, we draw this parallel between me and this unnamed Vietnamese farmer who invents pho in front of French colonialism. Because pho is the solution to necessity, right? For him and for me. Then there's the story of my World Cultures Day. A chance to establish our cuisine's humble origins with this little girl I made up so proud of her food in a way that I never was when I was her age. And then there's my first date, one of my life's milestones, the story of my dad's life. Our stories. The ones millions of Vietnamese have variations on. The ones that only we can tell. The ones we find ourselves telling over bowls of pho no matter how many times we've heard them. Because no matter where you are or where you go, Saigon or Toronto, the history of pho is ours. Pho is ours. It's Vietnamese through and through. And trying to erase that is a sin.
Wow. You really think they needed all that pointed out to them?
Judging by lasagna lady, yeah.
Alright. This paints the last song anyway, too.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that's it then. You explained the entire show.
Yep.
Do we really need the last song anymore?
Well, that might be nice. Makes people cry.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom cried when she first saw it, and then she wrote a very nice review of it on Facebook. I think it was in Vietnamese.
Wait, you don't know Vietnamese?
Yeah, I established that in the scene after yours.
What kind of Viet doesn't know Vietnamese?
Well, you don't either. You're an English-speaking Filipina actor hired to play someone.
Well, the real-life version of me would be very upset.
Is this just about me trying to to write you out of the show.
No. This is about you claiming to represent a culture that you don't know.
Don't listen to him, he's Viet Cong.
And what if I know? Your son exploits our homeland as if he's an American.
You people ruined our country.
Please, Grace, in the name of comfort, you're
What?
speaking. You better walk my life over there.
What does that mean?
Can we please not make this another Asian identity play?
Hey, there's a lot to be said for artistic license.
I bet all you know to write about is Asian too, you vulture.
Exotic food metaphors are out there!
I'm Chinese, I should stay out of that.
I have no opinion about this.
The first word that entered the businessman's mind as he entered Botany Boys is modern. The chairs, the tables, the drink dispenser, the HDTV screen that displayed the menu, modern. The menu itself, with not a hint of Vietnamese writing on it, with its Calbee beef tacos and kimchi fries at least 3 times more expensive than any food the businessman sold. Modern. The ability to pay by card. Modern. As he made his order and waved a quick hello to his sons in the kitchen before heading to a table, he observed the people around him, who his sons had once called our downtown hipster demographic. Beanies were a uniform here, and not just for the staff. He inspected his sandwich before eating it. Pickled carrots, cucumber, cilantro, all things a businessman put in his own baby. Familiar. Then he bit into it. The meat. Pulled pork marinated in Coke. Nothing like he'd ever made, but still a delicious sandwich. Still eating, he admired the mural on the opposite wall of an ornate pagoda with cherry blossoms in the sky. Completely meaningless, but beautiful. Still eating, it was then, all at once, that he understood why the businessman why his sons had chose to plant their flags and would build their empire in the jungle of Queen West. Because in Chinatown, the businessman had been an Asian selling sandwiches to other Asians. But in Queen West, the Benny boys were Asians selling Asia to everyone. And Asia was worth far more than a sandwich. You know why the show is a perfect bowl of pho?
Because nobody would watch a perfect plate of bento.
And no one would watch a perfect bowl of mashed potatoes.
In Vietnam, peasants were content with rice, water spinach, and pork. But how can any of us know that?
Vietnam can be a touchy subject.
War, communism, refugees.
But you still want to know.
It's so exotic.
So you look for a way in, maybe in a food or in a play.
To take you far away.
But still from the safety of Toronto.
All you need is a guide.
Someone who can speak for the culture, but can translate it for you where their parents couldn't.
Someone Vietnamese and Canadian.
Or someone who's Canadian and just knows how to use Google.
But you'll go along with what they say.
Because they're Asian. And you never take it from somebody who looks wrong.
That wouldn't be authentic.
So you came to the play.
Maybe you'll be a worldly person.
Or maybe we're the familiar dressed as the foreign.
And so the businessman chose his successor.
Still, Asian artists, both chefs, actors, and playwrights alike.
Are overlooked all the time.
So we thank you.
For giving us your time.
And your money.
Watch the show about culture.
This show about commodities.
This show about Vietnamese food.
Who's to say whether we're Vietnam pimping or just pimping Vietnam?
So to start. Oh, and this last song, this character is supposed to be.
My older sister, yeah.
But you never established it.
Huh. I'm sure I can fit that info in there somewhere.
about a truck. Song about a truck. All them city boys, oh, they can never understand. My song about truck.
And that was generic country singer with song about a truck. Next, we've got another country song.
No, make it stop!
Here's Coming Home by Sam Clark, right here on Moose FM.
The mountains of snow line the old northern roads. They tower from my head to my toe. The heater is broken and me, I'm just broke. I look like I'm addicted to coke. I'm flying back south on a dingy Greyhound to a bus station back in Toronto. And the streetlights don't shine 'cause they know they ain't mine. And I'm still such a long way from home.
Song about a truck. I'm still singing my song about a truck. It's because, I wanna fuck my truck. Beep, beep.
Adulthood came in like a great winter storm. So I chose my own way to be torn down. When I picked out a school where white bread was the rule, and I left all the ways that I'd worn out. My mother was quiet on the 4-hour ride, said nothing till the time we arrived. Still the look in her eyes, and I wish that you'd mind all the people you're leaving behind. I hate country music. That's the first thing I learned in North Bay. And I think that I'll vomit if I ever hear again. Let's all go eat Swiss chalet. I am so tired of the restaurant and Red Lobster, where they're the only two fancy food places north of Barrie. Still, there's something about it. Country music, not Swiss chalet. Something thought out in those lyrics about coming home at the end of the day. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to you. And wherever I go this forever, I'll know I'm coming home to you. The bus and my parents arrived at the same time to the bus station, Dundas and Bay. And all I can think of is how much that I'm done with crustaceans and Swiss chalet. Finally! My dad says chow con and my mom says chow con, and I say back hello. Now God, please let me eat some motherfucking pho. And my dad says, are you sure you don't want Swiss chalet? Bitch, no. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home to